Yeah, I don't know. Could you send me a video? Pictures of it? I mean, I could come down there. Tim, can you just button it up? We're gonna hit the road. So I just got a call from Steve at PTG, who's got my AMG engine. He wants me to come down and see something on the block. I don't know what's going on exactly, but there's something he needs to show me. We're gonna head over there right now. So I got this AMG GTS from an old client of mine who had severely overheated the engine and just left it sitting for years. We pulled this thing apart and I thought the engine was completely trashed. I had a couple options. I could buy a stock engine, drop it in the car, fix up the bodywork a bit, and just sell it, make a few bucks, and move on. But my love for cars got in the way of that, and I decided I want to try to build this AMG the way it was meant to be built, with 1,000 horsepower, and just make it the ultimate street car. I haven't had a cool street car in so long, and this could be my last chance at owning something like this. I might have made a huge mistake taking on this project and not going down the route of just rebuilding it and selling it. Now I've started a completely new project with no real budget in sight. I don't know how much it's all going to cost. I don't know if the engine is salvageable. If I can build this car the way that I want to build it and enjoy it for the next 2 years and then sell it and at least break even, that would be ideal. Obviously, if I can make some money on it in the future, awesome. The likelihood of that, well, probably not going to happen. Just to break even, I'd be happy with that. And I hope that I can finish this project soon and not let it drag out over the next year. Let's see what's going on with the engine. See if I've made a terrible mistake.
Feeling pretty worried?
Yes, I am extremely nervous right now. I mean, this is basically going to determine whether we can build this engine or if I have to go completely backwards and start looking for like a stock engine. I've already promised these guys and made a deposit to buy like the turbos and all of these things. I'm already going down that path. I don't want to put all those parts on a stock engine. That'd be just like, I feel like it'd be a complete waste of time and money.
So what happens if the block is unusable?
Don't say that, Tim. Think positive thoughts. It needs to be good.
Okay. I'm worried.
Think positive thoughts, Tim.
Okay.
All right, we are here. All right, let's see.
I got my fingers crossed. All 8 of them.
I just hope it's good news and not bad news. You guys know what they're doing, but some things just aren't savable.
That's true. I'm a little worried, but we'll see.
Hey,
Mike, nice
how
to see you.
Man?
I've been nervous about this for 3 weeks. I'm sure you have too.
I have.
So,
I've been like anxiously waiting, trying not to get too excited, knowing that there's a good possibility
that it could possibly all messed up.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been worrying me for the past 2 or 3 weeks. So let's take a look at it though. Let's see what we got our hands on.
Wait, is that it right there?
That's it.
No way.
Surprise! It looks.
This is the same block?
It looks absolutely stunning.
It looks brand new.
It does look brand new.
That is insane.
Yeah.
Like looking at this now compared to when we dropped it off, this rusty, oily milkshake, just complete disaster of a block. It looks better than new now.
It came right back to life. As we knew it would, to be honest with you. I was
You've been messing with me the whole time.
I wanted to scare you. I wasn't that nervous. You know, it like things checked out. We checked it right away. Things checked out. So
yeah.
I knew once we clean it up and obviously re-sleeve it, it's going to be perfectly good, usable block.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the outside of it because I didn't take the oil pan off. I didn't take all the other stuff off. I didn't pull the crank. Was everything okay?
It was a disaster. Crank, which is right here, looks beautiful. Needed polishing.
Whoa.
It was straight. There was no weird things in it. We teardropped it a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it needs the normal stuff. It needs gaskets, obviously, bearings, all the one-time use stuff it needs. Couple small extra things. We're gonna throw a new oil pump in there, like the actual thing that drives it through the drive sump. We'll throw that new. But I mean, honestly, like it was okay. It ended up good. It actually ended up good.
So it looked like a complete disaster. I didn't honestly think it was savable. I've seen a ton of engines. I built a ton of engines, and looking at that, I was like, it's probably not salvageable. It looked so bad, and that's why I didn't continue pulling the thing apart, because I was like, what's the point? It's probably wrecked inside. The crank's probably fried. Like circulating that water and oil around instead of just oil, I honestly thought that it would spin every bearing on that crank. but it didn't.
It looked like it blew a head gasket and someone drove it for a long time and then it just sat.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, there was probably so much oil and water in there, it was so creamy, that like nothing actually was rusted inside. I mean, the bores were, but nothing else. So.
Yeah, so basically the part that was really damaged was just the cylinder walls and the bores, but all of that got machined out to put the sleeves in.
Correct. So we machined all that out, cleaned up extremely well. Like it really did.
Even these like cast iron mains are not rusted at all.
It really cleaned up well.
Quick interruption. 6 a.m. here in Canada, and I have to thank today's sponsor, BetterHelp. Now, I've been putting off this promo for a few days, trying to find the right message, because this one is very serious, it's very beneficial, and it affects so many people. And this morning I woke up, couldn't sleep, did some research, and the information I learned about men, especially around suicide, literally blew my mind. Male suicide rate is twice as high as the male homicide rate in the US, and in fact, men are taking their own lives at a rate 4 times higher than women. I was actually shocked when I read these facts, and I think about life as being such a gift, like the sense, the sounds, experience love, driving a car, watching this YouTube channel, like that's all part of life, and it is the most precious gift we could ever have. And if we can together help just one person make that better choice with BetterHelp, then I'm all ears for it. Now, BetterHelp is really simple. It's online counseling services. And sometimes in life, we're experiencing challenges when it comes to relationships, to work, tragedy. It doesn't really matter. Think about this for a second. If you have a car and all of a sudden you notice a noise, a rattling, something, a check engine light, you get it looked at because you're concerned about the health of your vehicle and you want it to last a long time. Well, your mental health is as important, if not more important, than your physical health. And that's why BetterHelp gives you the ability to check in and get the help you deserve. Step 1 is really simple. Go to betterhelp.com/DDE, fill out an online questionnaire. They're gonna try to find you that right therapist. In most cases, within 48 hours, you match somebody and you're on your way. You can use the BetterHelp services on your phone or your laptop. You can do a video chat, you can call, or you can message them through their app, which is pretty cool. All right, so that's betterhelp.com/DDE. Go there right now, fill out the questionnaire, and in most cases, in 48 hours, they'll link you with a therapist and get the help you deserve. There's solutions out there, seriously. I don't want anybody to get hurt. I love you guys. And to make it even easier for your first month, you get a discount. So link in description, back to the vlog.
Really cleaned up well.
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting the bearings, the main bearings, to be spun in here and then just basically completely wreck like the main bore, and the block was trash.
When we started taking it apart from the bottom, we spun it. It spun.
Yeah.
That's when I knew. I was like, all right, we're kind of like, it's gonna be okay, I think. So.
Yeah, I only spun it with the pistons in, and there was so much rust and crap in the cylinders. It felt super heavy. Obviously the cylinders, but I'm thinking like it's the rod bearings and the main bearings too. Like it's just smoked.
It looks great though. I think we're at the home stretch.
Dude, I'm so pumped right now.
I'm excited for it. So now it's time to just start assembling, which we have everything laid out here.
Yeah, so these are the pistons, the rods.
Yeah, so I put a piston and a rod out. So that's your piston, and we were in the middle of checking all the. We put a gauge on the bolts, check stretch on them.
That makes me really happy to see that. I've seen guys build engines before and they just go off a torque spec, but when you're building a high performance engine, it is so important to go through every single detail. And you actually measure the bolts as they are, not tight, and then you torque them down and you find the right amount of stretch. The bolts actually get longer. They get a certain amount longer to make the bolt as strong as it can possibly be. So it pulls the bolt and it is as strong as it possibly can be. If you stretch it more, it could snap. If you don't tighten it enough, it could break. Yeah, it's just like, there's so many little details.
Yeah, there's a lot of details. So we got that. What took a minute is when we do the sleeve, you got to do a final hone no matter what.
Yep.
So we had a dedicated set of pistons for you, which we have.
Yeah.
And one by one, we run every piston down the bore and we final hone and give it the clearance that we want.
Yep.
So that's something we did here. So this thing's like ready to go, crank, polished out and is ready to go. We know what bearing number to run on it.
Yeah.
And like European cars, actually a lot of cars now, there's a letter sequence for bearings.
Like
correct.
Different clearances.
It'll give you less and more clearance.
Yeah.
So we measured the crank before, and if you look at here, these are details, but there's a 2 stamped on the block on all the caps.
Yep.
Which means it runs a Mercedes yellow bearing.
Okay.
So now that we did a polish on here, we know our split difference.
Yep.
So now I know which bearing to go to because
you basically you took some material
so we mic
off of the crank.
Really nice mic.
Yep.
To understand what the bearing thickness is, and now we'll start to build from here.
It's hard if you guys don't know engine building in general, but there's engine rebuilds, right? Where you basically just take the parts, you just bolt it back together with some new parts, and very minimal time spent checking all the clearances and doing rod bolt stretch and all that. This is built like we're building the F12 engine. We're not skimping out on anything. Every single part, it's the highest quality race parts that you can put in here. So this is basically a race engine that I'm gonna put into my AMG GT, which is...
this thing's like 2,000 plus horsepower capable at this point. It really is. So just, you know, put fuel and boost through it, and it'll hold it, you know. So we're making 1,500 with this setup,
with this stuff
pretty easily, like, and we know they can go more.
Yeah,
so you know what these are rated at.
That's absolutely insane, and I've been holding on to this for a while, but I wasn't sure if we were gonna be able to save it, and I wasn't sure what direction I was gonna go with this car. But seeing this, it's all coming together. This thing is gonna be, I'm almost positive that this is gonna be the fastest car that we have at DDE. That's right. I think it's gonna be a Lambokiller. I think we're gonna smoke all the Lambos, Dave's car, Damon's cars. Dude, I cannot wait.
the cool thing about these, as long as you do it right,
yeah,
Mercedes does have a little more reliability. Like, there is a little more engineering that goes into this than even say a Ferrari block.
Yeah,
we know it.
I mean,
in the industry,
so,
you know it.
I'm a huge fan of German cars, as you guys know, Porsches, BMWs. I'm only kind of getting my feet wet now into the AMG scene, but just looking at how the cars are built, it's German engineering, and yeah, it is top of the line. I cannot wait to get this thing together.
Yeah, there's power and reliability you'll get out of these for sure. That's why people like them. Super exciting, man. Yeah, and the block, I mean, it looks great.
It looks new. I mean, everything, like water pump housing.
Yeah, so we're gonna get you a new one. We're gonna put a new water pump.
I'm sure everything was wrecked.
Like anything on the cooling system was honestly trashed.
Yes.
Like it was toast. So anything in the cooling system we have to replace.
Yep.
So, and really it's just a new water pump. Oil pump we're replacing already. I mean, this thing's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great motor. Great motor. Steve
just brought over another crank that did spin a bearing. So this is honestly what I thought my crank was gonna look like. And I thought it was gonna be all the way through on all the journals because, well, oil is a lubricant, water is not. And when they mix together, you can smoke a bearing really fast.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah. So this was out of a takeout engine. We buy them all the time. And, and the car flipped over. So it started for oil.
Start for oil, yeah.
And of course the rearward, that's the last one that gets oil.
Yeah.
So it was running upside down.
It probably ran upside down and then, didn't get oil and seized the motor. And, we've seen much worse, but that's what a seized bearing looks like.
Yeah, and then you brought some stock pistons out here too.
Yeah, so like if we want to compare a stock piston and rod, if you go too heavy on the tuning, that looks cool.
Oh, completely melted.
Yeah, that's what happens if you go too hard on the tuning.
So yeah, that's some detonation, running lean there.
Yeah, running lean, just hard. Like this car came in and customer said it was chugging smokes and
yeah, that's why.
We did a compression test for cylinder has zero pressure, so we pulled it out.
A hole in it.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah. But yeah, look at this, like just comparing the rods. Look at how much stronger these Carrillo rods are. It is. Yeah.
And a cool thing to see here, this is a C63 or AMG GT piston, same piston.
Yep.
Which you can kind of look at, and this is like a hyper-eutectic piston. You can see the material. Now this is the E63/G63.
Oh, okay. So this is actually
piston.
Even more upgraded than that piston.
Correct. So this is an actual, they call it M43 material. It's a better forging, and it's a little different on the compression.
Yeah, it has the combustion center. These are more parts that are going on my car?
Yeah, so what we're gonna do is half of it will go on the engine, half of it I'm gonna hand to you.
This is the internal fuel pumps.
That's like the low side with we left some stuff out, but all the electronics that come with it, the filter, the additional pump, and then these are the high pressure pumps which will go on the engine with the lines. And I'm gonna hand these to you as well. That's the entire fuel line kit effectively.
Okay.
The big parts of the fuel system are kind of laid out here.
Yeah, so these are just gonna flow a lot more fuel, right?
Correct.
So we can keep up with the amount of power that we're making.
Correct, and the cool thing is if we want to run like a blend of E85, I'm gonna give you map switch, so you can switch it through your phone, but it's super cool. So while you're driving, you can just flip to 1 through 4 maps, and it switches on the fly. But if you're, pumping 91, for example, put on map 1. If you're pumping like an E30, E40 blend, you're gonna have someone drive the car that doesn't want to go fast, put in valet mode,
or somebody I don't want them driving my car fast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. If you care about safety, you put in map 4 and it's in valet mode. So yeah, these will support the additional 40-50% volume.
Yeah,
that's the adapter plates that we machine.
Very nice. It's jewelry. Everything is just beautiful.
Yeah, super nice.
Something I've always loved is the color purple anodized.
Yeah,
like
sick.
Ever since I was riding like bicycles when I was a kid, I always bought the purple anodized stuff. So yeah, I love this. It looks
this is like homage to like in the 90s.
Yes.
I might be old, guys. I'm old, but yeah, we're a little older. You knew if it was a ball bearing turbo if it had a purple back.
Yep.
If it was a gold back, it would have a journal bearing
Yes.
turbo. So we'd go to street races and see the purple.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I don't know about that.
Yep.
You know?
Nope, nope,
And so
this guy's got good
would,
stuff.
yeah, this would scare us back in the day. So I don't know, it just pays homage to the 90s and the early 2000s.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah, and purple became our color, just like we can.
I saw that when I walked in, and I was like, oh, my eyes like just went to that immediately.
I know, I was telling Matt, I was like, anyone that hates purple is really gonna hate this a lot. So,
I love it.
but yeah, I think it looks beautiful as well.
Dude, you have no idea how excited I am right now. Trying to stay reserved. I don't know what's gonna happen. This might not actually work out, but going in there and seeing all those parts, the engine block looks absolutely amazing. The heads are amazing. The crank is polished out, looks perfect. And he said like a week. I'm gonna give it 2. I don't wanna rush him. I want it to be right. I cannot wait. I don't like that livery, but the car is gonna be so rad. Tim, I am so pumped right now. This thing is coming together fast. Like,
It's gonna be fast also.
it is gonna be fast. It is gonna be really fast. It is going to be a Lambo killer. I cannot wait to get this thing together.
It's gonna be faster than the SVJ.
I think so. I think it's gonna smoke the SVJ.
Definitely faster than the Squadra.
Oh, for sure.
The only real Lambo competition you'll have right now is maybe the Huracan.
It's faster than the Huracan.
I mean, what else is in the fleet? The 720?
The 720 is blown up.
That's true. It's not even running. Yeah, there's nothing really fast left. The Bentley.
The Bentley. So I've got a lot of decisions to make now because I haven't purchased any parts for the car yet. But knowing that the engine is actually coming together and it's gonna be done in just a couple of weeks, I've got some decisions to make and some parts to order. I think I need some cooling system upgrades. Obviously, I need some suspension, some springs or shocks or a combo to get the car a bit lower to get the ride height where I want it. And then I've got to decide, like, do I wide body the car? Do I keep it narrow? What wheels do I get? So many decisions. I gotta make some calls when I get back to the shop, hit up some of my old partners, see if I can get some of these parts coming in as soon as possible. Yes, we are back, and it is time to get the AMG onto the lift in the other side of the shop, because there's still quite a bit of work left to do to it before we can put that new engine in the car. I wanna make sure that as soon as the engine is ready to be picked up, I can get it, bring it back here, and put it in the car. So I'm not gonna waste any time. I'm gonna get this car on the other side and start working on it right away. So one of my concerns is, well, I'm still trying to sell the cars that I already have, that are already done, and now I'm putting a bunch of money into this car. But it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. All of this stuff is gonna have to come out. I'm gonna have to check everything and replace a lot of it. We still haven't checked the wiring harness to see how much rat damage there was. We've got our work cut out for us. So because this engine was overheated so badly, created a milkshake in the entire oil system, I don't want to risk this brand new race engine. We're gonna do this the right way. Everything's got to come out of the car. So while Tim's working on tearing the front of the car apart, I'm gonna make some phone calls and start ordering some parts. So first call, my buddy Chris from KW. Let me see what they got for this thing. Yo, Chris, what's happening, man?
What's up, dude?
How are you?
Good, man.
I'm building a AMG GT that's gonna be a Lambokiller. I'm looking for some KW goodies. You guys got anything?
Yeah, man, we got you.
Yeah?
We got some stuff for that car. I can send something out, whatever I got on the shelf, and have it out to you tomorrow.
Dude, that is awesome. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, we got you, dude. Later.
Thank you. All right, man. Bye. All right, suspension covered. Now, let me see if I can make some calls and get some coolers for this thing.
Hey, Michael, what's up, man?
Ravi, how are you, man?
I'm good.
I am really pumped right now. I have this AMG GT that I'm building into a Lamborghini Killer. Yeah, so it's gonna be over 1,000 horsepower at the wheels, like built
Nice.
race motor. It's really sick, but I need some coolers for this thing. You guys got something?
Yeah, 100%, man. We got some really nice stuff for the GT, man. You want me to send it your way?
Yeah, dude, that would be awesome.
Awesome, brother. I'll get it out for you, man. No sweat.
Dude, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You got it, Michael. I'll talk to you soon, brother.
All right, man. Take care. Thanks. Yes. Dude, it's coming together and it's coming together fast. I am so pumped. I only plan on keeping this car for a year or two and then obviously selling it and sailing off into the sunset. But I'm a perfectionist and I don't want this car to be built incorrectly. I want it to handle well. I want it to look good. I want it to stay cool. I don't want to have any cooling problems with the engine. I just want the car to be perfect. We're gonna do everything that we need to do to build the car my way, and I'm not gonna skimp out on anything. That doesn't mean I'm gonna buy the most expensive parts in the world to put on this car, but I am gonna put quality parts with the overall build in mind. It's not gonna be a time attack car. I'm not gonna take it to the track to try to set the fastest lap around whatever track. It's gonna be a street car. So it needs to be fun, it needs to look good, it needs to be comfortable, and most importantly, it needs to smoke Damon's Lamborghinis.
There's a lot of debris and
Broken plastic from this corner being
broken.
run into a curb.
Oh, I see. There's a hole right there.
Oh yes, of course. More damage. These are the kind of things that are gonna add up to a lot of cost. Because it's an AMG, everything is expensive. There's gonna be more damage on this car than I had originally seen.
You got a bent bracket up here.
Yeah, I don't even, how does that even get bent?
It's bent the opposite way. It's like that's pulled forward somehow.
That's so weird. These haven't been changed, so it hasn't been hit, but somehow that bracket's bent.
Strong rats.
Strong rats.
So Mike, this car sat for how long?
Years. I don't know how many years.
It looks like it.
Yes, it's not looking great. So the rotors are expensive. They're not super worn, so I'd like to keep them. Sometimes when it's this rusted, the pits are just so bad that all it does is kind of glaze over the rotor and the car won't stop well. I'm hoping that I can just drive the car around and the brake pads will wipe the rust off. If it's not too thick, it should come off. But if it's really embedded in there, I'm gonna have to change the rotors. I still can't figure out like these scratches. Oh, you know what? I think this might actually have a tint, like a smoked gray tint on it, because I think the headlights do too. But these just got,
Oh, dude.
you can't.
That's even worse.
It has like bonded onto there.
It's never coming off now. We're
But
gonna have to
it
Scotch
could-
bright it.
Well, yes, sand it, color sand it maybe.
Steel wool.
40 grit disc grinder. But I think that's something that maybe a body shop could sand and then buff and clear.
That's possible.
Because those taillights are really expensive.
Are they? How much are they?
Like used, they're $500, $600 a piece used, and they're already like kind of faded.
Yeah, maybe send it to a body shop.
I'll try that. I'll try that first because that's another $1,000 easy. I don't know if you guys remember, but the interior of this car is really, really nice, except for the fact that, well, there's a lot of mold in here for whatever reason. But we've wiped some of it out, but it still is gonna need a serious detailing in the entire interior and obviously the entire outside of the car before I start driving this thing. This is the only Mercedes I have experience with working on. This is actually owned by Jason, who I got that AMG GT from. This was his time attack car that we built for him many years ago. It's been sitting for a while, just like his GT was. Along with that car, this car is up for sale very soon. It was a pretty big build. It's pretty wild. I have never seen another AMG like this. We did a lot of work to it. It's still got the 6.3 liter normally aspirated motor, SLS intake manifold. What we really did was take all of the Mercedes stuff out of it, all the electronics. We built a custom wiring harness. We put Motec in it. We moved the engine back and down. We put a Hollinger 6-speed sequential paddle shift gearbox in it, Bosch Motorsport ABS, a lot of really cool parts in this thing. And this is a really cool project to build, but this is the limit of my AMG experience. So everything we're doing on the GT is completely new to me. Trying to figure out how that insanely complex cooling system comes out. I think there's a way to get it out in one chunk, so it's gonna take some time to figure out how to do that properly. I don't wanna just start pulling all these parts off it and end up with this massive pile of stuff where I can't remember where everything goes because I've never taken it apart before. So if I can figure out how to take that all out in one piece, that's gonna be ideal. we'll see if we can do it. But yeah, it's a challenge, but I'm always up for a challenge. So we're gonna replace both of these side heat exchangers with some CSF coolers. They're about 30% bigger. They're all aluminum, so it gets rid of that plastic tank, and it's gonna increase the cooling quite a bit. Also, the radiator is gonna get replaced, but we're still gonna have to take those out, obviously, with everything else. So the oil cooler down here is gonna have to come out. That's gonna have to get cleaned, because obviously it's full of that milkshake. We're just kind of figuring out how to take all of this stuff apart, because we've never done it before on one of these cars. So there's some way to do it, we just don't know how to do it yet. When I first was looking at these headlights, I thought they were faded and messed up, but it's got this tint on it, and that, I think, is what's on the taillights too, but they just baked in the sun, and this film like just embedded itself into the plastic, because you can't even scratch it off. It is pretty wild, but I'm very excited that the headlights, look at that. Dude, they look new underneath.
Brand new.
Woo! Yes, because they look terrible with this tint on it.
How's it going on your side, Tim?
It's coming out pretty good. The top rim.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, they look so
it's like immaculate, like brand new.
Woo! Look at that, Mark. Even the headlights are high performance. That's right.
There you go. So I just took off the front kind of air funnel slash shroud for the radiator. Second radiator that we now found out that for some reason Mercedes decided to not just have one fat radiator. They were like, let's just get two thin ones and put one in front of the other. I guess that's efficient. But yeah, so this thing just funnels air into the radiators, the AC condenser, I believe. Well, I don't know why it's so small. And then also the oil cooler. That's pretty cool.
I'm trying to figure out, like, how did that bracket get bent?
What is it for?
I don't know, it kind of looks like it sits somewhere around here.
Oh, like on the emblem?
Like near the emblem, yeah.
Oh, maybe somebody tried to steal the emblem and they couldn't because this was so strong.
Yanking on it. There's oil in there.
There's oil in there.
What?
And it's clean. I made a mess. Let me do the other side too.
Make a mess on the other side. That's really weird that the oil coming out of there is not a milkshake. I'm trying to figure this out now. So maybe the thermostat never opened. Maybe it never got hot enough after.
Oh, that's possible.
Maybe it overheated because the thermostat, the oil cooler, didn't open. I'm just spitting ideas here. I have no idea right now.
Or maybe it's been sitting so long that
No.
the oil and water separated.
No, it was, dude, it was the creamiest, nastiest milkshake. There was no way. Like, it has become one.
I meant
Nice job, Tim.
a millimeter too short. You know? Accuracy. Sometimes you just gotta fire all the missiles and just hit the target one time. Nah, that's clean oil. I mean, well, it's dirty, but it's
not
clean.
that clean. But it's a good thing that we're rebuilding this engine, because it looks like that thing needed an oil change about 10,000 miles ago. I'm looking at some parts here. The dry sump oil tank is plastic on this car. I just want to make sure that I'm able to clean it out well enough to make sure it's completely clean. There's no debris, because one small piece of debris could literally destroy a brand new engine. So buying a used one is probably not the best idea, because I don't know what the car was that it came off of. Did it blow the motor and now they're selling these parts? It's a possibility. But also, can I clean this one out completely? Maybe. Or do I just bite the bullet and go to the dealer and buy a new one? If it's $750 used, I'm guessing it's probably, oh, this one's, they're asking 1,300 bucks for it. If it's that expensive used, they've got to be quite a bit more expensive new. This is gonna get expensive.